Hi, I'm Shannon from Shannon Talks Yarn, and today I'm trying to figure out how I can get caught up on a temperature blanket. If you are like me, you have been seeing a ton of videos where people are getting their temperature blankets going, and it kind of actually started to seem like fun. I always thought it was like the traditional rows that you had to do, and to me that seemed a bit boring. But I've got a few friends who are doing things totally different. If you check out Kristen Crochets, she's got actually two that I believe she's got going. And then I kind of went off on a tangent after seeing Leah Crochet's video doing hers granny square style. So that just kind of led one thought to another. And I was like, I think I figured out how to get caught up because as I'm filming this, it is January 21st, and I just got an order from Herschner's I'm about to unbox. So let's get started. Okay, so let's go through the unboxing first. And what I did for mine, I'll grab my notes here. And I spent quite a bit of time like sketching this out and going through my temperatures and trying to figure out, you know, the amount of degrees I wanted to go and different things. So I settled on let's see here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 different colors. And I also wanted a separate color for, linking all my granny scores together. The other thing I'm going to do is I'm going to have the daily high and the daily low together in the row for the day. Because I live in Iowa and our temps here are outrageous either way, whether high or low. So like taking an average of the day or just taking the high or just taking the low, I didn't feel like really gave an accurate picture of where I live. So that's why I did so many colors. I do want to start out by saying, I'll just grab this one. I have some of the Herschner's Afghan yarn, and I was gifted some by a friend, and I picked up a couple at a garage sale. The ones I got at the garage sale, the lady was selling for $1 a piece. I do have a video on that. It is one of my older videos, so it's kind of like meh. I will possibly put a link down to it, or you can get creative and go find it if you want to. But with this, I am noticing a huge difference. So if you get on Herschner's website or in their catalog, they have some older classic Afghan yarn. And then they have, I don't know if they call it the new Afghan yarn. The new Afghan yarn, there's like 12 different colors. And while it's still a 2-weight, this one was $1.99 per skein, and it's 100% acrylic. It's a 2-weight. It is 244 yards. A decent price. But first off, it is so much softer than the older stuff that I have. Like this is, even just touching it, it's like squishy, and it's not scratchy at all. Like, thank you, Herschner's. So let me kind of show you here the other difference, because I did order something unrelated to my temperature blanket. So I ordered this 10-pack of Christmas, what do they call it? They call it Victorian Christmas. And I ordered a 10-pack of this. So the 10-pack was $9.90, I think, $9.90. So these were, 99 cents a piece. But this is the older packaging, right there where it's got like the rainbow on the band, where this has like some little loopy scallops. Maybe I should take one out so you can see it. It's gonna get opened anyway, right? Yeah, like instantly I can tell the difference. But so you can see the difference in the labels right here. Older, newer. Not a huge difference in packaging, but yeah, these would be like the classic ones. And yeah, this is so much scratchier than this one. And I know often like variegated and heavily dyed yarns do seem to me a little bit scratchier. But yeah, it is completely different in texture. The other difference here too is that the older, the classic one, this is 220 yards compared to the new one. The old one also says machine wash, dry, flat, while this new one says machine wash and dry. So that's also amazing. Like, I feel like this is something that would open up a lot, just a lot of possibilities for me. So here is, again, the difference in labels. These older ones do seem to be a little bit cheaper, like $1.29 to $1.77 or something oddball like that. And then they had a few of these 10 packs that were super cheap. This is for a different project that I have going, so I will put this one away and we'll talk about that some other time. Okay, I got all my yarns laid out so I could go over them by temperature, and I'm loving it. Like, they could not be more Shannon color. I feel bad, like my hair's wet and everything, but I was just like really excited to get into this. So you're getting a little more of the real Shannon, I guess, today. Now, with my colors, once I saw my friends starting to do like non-traditional temperature blankets, that's when I got excited for it. I am just not like, when you think of a temperature blanket and the more like primary colors and secondary colors, you know, just like the normal red through blue, warm through cold, that's just not me. And while they are beautiful, it like doesn't go with a single thing in my house. And if I'm putting the time into this, I want it to be something I love. So these might not be for everyone. They're probably not. But I like a lot of like older, like 1950s, 1970s, just different types of colors. And I like anything like fall colors or autumnal colors. I'm really into. So like a lot of the things in the furniture in my house is like the browns, some of the teals mixed in. And then, you know, like I like a lot of the burgundies and that rust, like that type of stuff. So that's what I went with. And let's kind of get started here, and I'll walk through my color range. And you know, I bought one of all these colors, so I would assume, have to make another order. Shoot, right? But I didn't really know like how much I would be using of the yarn and how fast I would go through it, so I didn't want to order a whole bunch and not use it. But now that I'm looking at them and I'm like loving my choices, I probably could have ordered more because I would use it anyway. But anyway, so Iowa is very, very cold in the winter and very hot and humid in the summer. And we do have a fall and spring, of course, but they, you know, are generally kind of chilly too. But we'll just see how it goes. So first off, I went with below zero. So we have a huge range of below zero here in Iowa, right around Christmas time, right before Christmas. Like it was like a few days before Christmas. You know, basically the whole country was very cold. But here in Iowa, it got down to, I kid you not, like -45, -50. So it was also blizzarding. They shut our major interstate down for a couple hundred miles because like you could die if you were stranded. So I don't think I will be using this one a lot, but I know I will still use it. So this is for any temps below zero, and this is the color cream. Okay, so my next color is for 1 degree through 10 degrees, and this is the color wheat, right? Yes, color wheat. And I actually think I'm going to hold them further back here because it seems to get a little bit warmer toned when I put it closer up to the camera. Like yeah, this is a little bit more accurate. So, I mean, if you want to see the texture of it, you know, that's the texture. It's definitely 2-weight, very soft acrylic. But I'm going to hold them back here. So this is wheat and this is 1 through 10. And again, hopefully I don't have to use a ton of this, but that is that. So 11 through 20 is this squash color. I love this. I have a chair downstairs, and well, it's probably closer to the next color. Scratch that. I'll talk about that in a minute. But I love this squash. So this is 11 through 20. And the next color is cider. And this is 21 through 30. And you can see it's just a little bit deeper. And I have a chair downstairs from the 1970s, and it is like got this amazing velvet in this orange color. It's not for everyone, but I love it. And thankfully, my husband really doesn't care. So anyway, cider 21 through 30. And now here I'm taking a little bit of a turn because these are just some of the colors I really like and not really indicative with like, you know, cold temperatures being cool colors and warm temperatures. So 31 through 40, which a lot of people probably think is still cold, is this light teal color. And then 41 through 50 is deep teal. This is one of my favorite colors. So I did get these. So 31 through 40, 41 through 50. These are both ones that I feel like I might use in both the spring and the fall. So I might get a lot of use out of those. That's why these middle ones are my favorite colors. And then I put the neutrals kind of on the outskirts where I thought they were a little more extreme with the hot and lows and wouldn't use them as much. So here are those. This next one I feel like is probably my absolute favorite. It is called Old Rose, and this I got for 51 degrees through 60. And to me, it is just like more of a, almost like a Victorian rose type of color. So I absolutely love that. And I think that might be my favorite. And then the next one I got, which is also totally my colors, is Bing Cherry. And this one is 61 through 70. So good temps there. Now, when we get up to 71 through 80, I got this neutral, and this is peanut right here. So not like I would not call it a warm brown, definitely more of a neutral brown, if that makes sense. Like, I guess I don't really know how else to describe that. But you know how some browns are like that deep chocolatey warm brown? This is definitely more neutral. So peanut for 71 through 80. And then the next one is cocoa. This is 81 through 90. So this is definitely, I would say, still a neutral brown. By that I like no, like there's not reds in the brown, if that makes sense. I mean, I'm sure there's red in the brown, but it's not like, do you get what I'm saying? Somebody write down in the comments if they can explain this better than me, please. So anyway, cocoa is 81 through 90. And we do have those days in the summer. There aren't like tons and tons of them. I did end up apparently ordering 2 of each of these. So I don't think I meant to do that. So I may end up with a ton of extra brown, and I will definitely just find another project to work on those with. I was surprised when I saw them in there. So cocoa, peanut and cocoa. And then for the 90 and above days, I was a little perplexed because I was running out of colors that I wanted to choose from. So I just went with black. I'm like, it's neutral. We don't have tons and tons of days that are above 90. Ones, in the summer, like August, we'll probably definitely get some of those. But in my living room, I do have like a wood stove, and then like the heat resistant tiles on the back, they're black. So while it kind of almost doesn't seem like it fits in, I thought it will go with my living room and continue to pull everything together. And then for the outline, I got this Herrschner's 2-ply classic Afghan yarn in this bigger bundle here. So remember I said the old ones were this size. The how many ounces is this? This is a 2 ounce, and this is 5 ounces. But what I'm finding interesting is even though this is the classic, you notice it's updated. It has a different label, and the fact that they're selling these in the 5 ounces new, and this is just as soft as all of these. So I'm just gonna go with the assumption that anything with the new labels, I don't know if they obviously switched the yarn and went with something different. Let's see if it says on here. Yeah, this says it is also machine wash and dry. So since it says classic, I bet it's the same color as the older classic Afghan yarn, but it's like the new yarn. So this is what I picked for my outline, and this is why I got it in the larger size as well. I can't remember exactly what this cost. Was it like $3 or $5, or does it even say on here? This was $3.98. So yeah, that's a pretty good. Is that right? No. This was $3.49. So yeah, that's even better. $3.49 for 5 ounces of Afghan yarn, and you're getting 558 yards in this. So that's a great deal. There was a limited supply of colors on the ones that they had in these 5 ounce though. So that was great. So this is it for my haul that I've got right here. And what I'm going to do is just kind of put this video with getting my first square done. I went with the website Wonderground to get my temperatures. I don't know exactly how accurate it is, but like I said, I wanted to go for the high and the lows. So my high and low for the first 2 days are both this light, well, this would be the lower one here, the squash, and then the light teal. So I'm going to pull together, 2 strands of this for my row. And then on the 3rd, January 3rd, both of them are this light teal color. So I think what I'm going to do is pull from the center pole and the outside, because I've seen people do that. So I'm going to go ahead and get started. So I am 15 days into this temperature blanket. I'm actually only about an hour and a half into it, but it went pretty fast. I just had those 15 days written down. Even though today is the 21st, I decided this was a good stopping point. And I think that doing possibly about 10 days at a time would be a good increment for me, just time-wise, what I have available for the project. So a couple things that I have learned so far. Number one, I absolutely love the new Afghan yarn. It is really, really soft. So kudos, Herschner's, that is great. I am using 2 strands held together, like I said, for a high and a low, and I'm using a 5.5 hook, and it is working beautifully for that. So in case you're wondering and you want to also do a 2 strand held together of a number 2 weight yarn, that 5.5 is working great. I will have a link below to to the page with these Herschner's Afghan yarns, and I'll just have a list of the colors that I used as well. One thing I've grossly underestimated is the amount of squash I would need in these first 15 days. I am almost halfway through this skein, you guys. And like I said, this is only 15 days. I only had 2 days that weren't in the teens. So this day right here where I held the light teal, and I did a center pull and then also took from the outside and held those together instead of using, 2 skeins. But I had that day, and then this last day I finished here on the 15th. It was the cider in the light teal. So that wasn't in the teens, but that's kind of crazy. I mean, I know it's cold here, but The other thing I have found is that while you can tell a difference between the squash and the cider, so a good example here is this second row in is, oops, right here, the second row in is squash in light teal, and this outer one is cider in light teal. So you can see that it is darker, but when they are together, like this row right here, the squash and the cider, and I think right here, this row, the squash and the cider, you really can't tell that it's two different yarns. So it just looks like a little bit of a tonal yarn, which is totally fine for this project. I still am loving how it looks. I think it's very pretty, and I still love the high and low look. It's just, yeah, these two are so close together. I guess even right here, it almost looks like the same yarn, doesn't it? This one is lighter. But I am still enjoying it very much. So I am going to go ahead and get this uploaded, and it'll come out, like I said, this is the 21st. So you will probably see it, I don't know, Tuesday, Thursday, somewhere in there, just to get this going. So if you are feeling the bug to get a temperature blanket going, that you can get some ideas. I wholeheartedly recommend this technique. Like I said, it is a great way to get caught up because, you know, these beginning rows are so small that you can really whip through them. So that's totally my speed. And yeah, I am just writing down in my calendar what the temperatures are. So like I said, I might do about 10 of those at a time and then come in. So I will do a month end update. So that would then come out like the beginning of February, because I'll want, you know, the highs and lows for the last day of January. And then I'm going to put the border color around it. So, you know, obviously my squares all need to be the same dimension, and not every month is the same amount of days. So depending on how big it is, you know, I might want to go to like 35 rows or 34 rows or something like that, just so I can make them all even. So some months, like obviously February will have like 2 less. So that means like my border color, my gray, I'd have 2 additional rows of that. But you know, then on a month with 31 days, there would be less. So, and I think what I'm going to do is the granny square for a couple, and then do a row of solid all the way around, just so that I can hook them together better when it's time to. So yeah, I will do a month end or month beginning, however you want to look at it. And then what I'll also do is, I think I'll go quarterly, because, you know, with me doing every day of the month and the high and the low, I feel like I would just be saying, well, that would be like 60 numbers a month. So I'm not going to bore you with that. I'll just go, you know, unless there's like some crazy irregular high or low, I probably won't go into a ton of detail on that. But I will go ahead and just show you my progress. So I'll do the month, and then I'll have 1 row, since I'm going to do 3 squares across and 4 squares down. So I'll show you when I get the first row, you know, and then like a second one 3 months later, you know, and as I go. So aside from the link to the Herschner's yarn in the description, I will also have a link to my friend Leah's temperature blanket that she's got going, because she was a great inspiration for me to start this. And then also Kristen, who was a great inspiration. I will put their temperature blanket playlist below in the description, so you can check that out. And what I'm also going to do is put a link to my Pinterest board that is temperature blanket related. So these aren't mine. These are just like great inspiration. So if you are on Pinterest and you want to follow me there, you definitely can. I will have the link below to that. And then the other thing is, if you are active on Ravelry, will you add me as a friend? I think that's how it works. I really don't know. I started the account like a year ago and never did anything to it. And so I am just like kind of getting into it. I know I am like, I don't know, slow on that. So definitely check me out on Ravelry too. And I have nothing for sale or anything. I'm just on it looking at your stuff for sale. So I will put a link down below for Ravelry as well. But I want to thank you. I appreciate this. I hope this turns out fun and gives you some inspiration. And I am going to put a link right up here. So if you aren't subscribed to my channel yet, go ahead and hit this little button up here and get subscribed, and you can follow my journey with this. And I will also have a playlist down in the first, like the pinned comment, if you want to watch some more of my videos. Thanks for talking yarn with me today, guys.